It's the Rob Carson Show.
Joining us on the Newsmax hotline, former White House advisor, Trump administration official, and host of the Gorka Reality Check, a man with a resume that I sit and marvel at every single day, and he joins us on the Newsmax hotline. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back, my friend.
So, your father escaped communism, and I believe we're seeing shades of the fall of a regime that I would say is similar to what's happened with, say, for instance, East Berlin, say, for instance, Iraq. The propagandists are still carrying out their lies when it's fairly obvious that the people have been lied to. Do you see any comparisons between the Democrat Party and past communistic regimes, and when their lies and their malfeasance catch up with them?
Fascinating you ask me that, because a young gentleman just had me on his podcast earlier this morning, and Christian asked me exactly the same question, and I kind of hesitated, and I thought, hang on a second, my dad was tortured, interrogated, imprisoned, given a life sentence at the age of 20 because he was an anti-communist. Can I really go there? And I thought, you know what? We're there. When my friends, my former colleagues are sitting in federal pens right now, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, simply because they're a threat to the incumbent regime. When President Trump, my former boss's home, is raided by the FBI, armed agents who brought fake evidence there, classification cover sheets to use as props and then leak them to the mainstream media. And then when we see, that disgrace, quote-unquote, Admiral Kirby, who should have been stripped of his rank and put in the brig at Leavenworth, simply become a propaganda whore for Joe Biden. I think we've arrived, my friend.
Yes.
I think we've arrived.
Well, I said that, my first year in broadcasting was 1989, and in the span of a year, we saw two revolutions. One was the Tiananmen Square that was crushed by the Chinese communists. The other was the Berlin Wall falling and the fall of the Soviet Union. I am leaning into the fall of the Soviet Union with what's happening in this country with the deep state. The wall is beginning to crumble. The people who've lived in darkness, people who traditionally vote Democrat, Hispanics and blacks, are beginning to see the light. And I believe we've got to keep the pressure on to collapse this wall completely, while the federal government would rather see a Tiananmen Square outcome.
Yeah, we know that there's one political party in America that's normalized violence, and it's not the Republicans. If you look at Antifa, BLM, you see... what was it, the senior Senator Chuck Schumer stand outside the Supreme Court and say, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, you will reap the whirlwind. That's a threat of violence. When you see that insane woman, Congresswoman Waters, say, if you see a member of the Trump administration in public, you surround them, you harass them. When you see Kamala Harris actually raise funds to bail out BLM arsonists. There's a party here which is fine with violence, and it's the Democrats.
What do you think is going to happen now? Joe Biden is digging in his orthopedic heels to keep from getting removed. Jerry Nadler now, I guess his reverse course, is going to stick with Joe Biden. AOC is going to stick with Joe Biden. I saw some very sad faces outside of DNC headquarters today. What do you think is going to happen, sir? Because we've only got 4.5 months till this election, and the Democrats are going to have to either get rid of Biden or reinvest in him. And if they decide not to, they got to find another candidate and try to convince America to vote for this person. What do you think's going to happen? I'd love to hear your take.
Well, forget the convention. They've got 32 days. But forget the election. They've got 32 days until the convention. So and the money they've raised, the hundreds of millions they've raised, can only be spent by Kamala and by Joe Biden. Unless they pick another person at the convention. Ballots are already being printed. So they're in a tough place right now, which is delightful to watch. But what's happening, look, I got to give full credit to my producer, Jeff, who said that letter from Biden to the Democrats, that was, hostage negotiations. Jill isn't letting him go anywhere. They are the most corrupt political family in America. They want money, they want sinecures, and they want immunity from prosecution. So right now, they're going to stay there, gripping the Resolute desk until they get the best private deals from the Democrats to keep them rolling in money and to keep them immune from prosecution. That's all we're watching right now.
So who is going to be the replacement? I believe this talk of Michelle Obama is folly. I think it's ridiculous. She doesn't want to be there. I don't also think she does not. There was one poll that said she's the only person who could win, but once she opens her mouth, once she exposes herself as the elitist who she is with no life experience, no career experience whatsoever, that would end quickly. I think that Democrat voters should rightfully be hacked off that they would try to replace the candidate and expect them to be wholeheartedly invested in that candidate after lying about Biden. But who do you think they might slide in there? You're going with the names that everybody else is saying?
Well, let me just say on your show right now, I guarantee you this. I'm not a betting man, but I'm going to bet the farm on the fact that it is not Michelle Obama.
Okay.
That woman has never worked a day in her life. The idea that she'd give up her tens of millions of dollars of income from Netflix and everywhere else so she doesn't have to do a damn hour's worth of work.
Yes.
Not happening. So guys, stop it with the QAnon crap. Just stop it right now. If you look at the irony of the situation, how did they jump over the female black diversity hire?
Yes.
This is the ultimate insurance